Right now, over 70% of seniors are unknowingly sabotaging their heart health with 5 vegetables sitting in their refrigerator. Yes, you heard that right. Vegetables. The same foods your doctor told you to eat more of could be quietly working against your medications and putting dangerous strain on your aging heart. This isn't about demonizing vegetables or telling you to stop eating them entirely. It's about understanding that your body at 60, 70, or 80 processes food very differently than it did at 40. What once nourished you might now be interfering with your blood pressure medication, your blood thinners, or even triggering dangerous heart rhythms you never experienced before. Here's the shocking truth that 85% of doctors simply don't have time to explain during your 15-minute appointment. Certain vegetables, when combined with common heart medications or consumed by seniors with compromised immune systems, can turn from healers into silent threats. Some can neutralize life-saving blood thinners, others pack more sodium than a bag of potato chips, and a few carry bacteria that your weakened immune system just can't fight off anymore. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to reveal the 5 most dangerous vegetables hiding in your kitchen and give you safe, heart-friendly alternatives for every single one. But first, if this information could help someone you care about, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our life-saving health tips. Now, have you ever wondered why your blood pressure medication seems less effective lately, even though you're eating all the right foods? The first vegetable on our list might be the surprising culprit sitting in your smoothie right now. 1. Spinach, the blood thinner neutralizer that's hiding in your smoothie. Let me start with the vegetable that might shock you the most. Spinach. Yes, that dark leafy green your doctor probably told you to eat more of. Here's what they didn't tell you. 1 cup of raw spinach contains 444 micrograms of vitamin K. That's nearly 4 times the recommended daily amount for someone on blood thinners. If you're having a spinach smoothie for breakfast, you've just consumed enough vitamin K to potentially neutralize your warfarin or Eliquis. Here's how this works in your body. Vitamin K helps your blood clot when you're injured. That's good for cuts and scrapes. But when you're taking prescribed blood thinners to prevent dangerous clots in your heart or brain, vitamin K becomes the enemy. Your blood thinner works by blocking vitamin K's clotting action. But when you flood your system with spinach, the vitamin K overpowers your medication. Your prescription becomes useless, and you don't even know it. According to Mayo Clinic research, this affects over 60% of seniors taking anticoagulants who regularly eat high vitamin K foods. The scary part? You feel completely fine while it's happening. There are no warning signs until there's a stroke or heart attack. Now, I'm not telling you to avoid spinach forever. Here's what you need to know. If you're going to eat spinach, follow the consistency rule. Eat the same amount every single day. This lets your doctor adjust your medication dose to work with your diet. Let me give you perspective on vitamin K content. Raw spinach has 444 micrograms per cup. Kale has 113. Romaine lettuce has just 48. Iceberg lettuce? Only 10 micrograms per cup. That's a massive difference. Your safest alternatives? Butter lettuce, iceberg lettuce, and cucumbers. They give you crunch and freshness without the vitamin K overload. You can make salads, add them to sandwiches, or blend them into smoothies without medication worries. If you're on blood thinners and eating spinach regularly, don't panic. Don't stop everything at once. Talk to your doctor about your exact diet so they can monitor your blood levels properly. Have you been wondering why your blood work keeps fluctuating despite taking medication exactly as prescribed? This might be your answer. Comment below if you've experienced unexplained changes. But vitamin K is just one piece of this puzzle. The next vegetable contains enough hidden sodium to spike your blood pressure within 30 minutes. And you probably consider it healthy. 2. Pickled vegetables. The sodium time bomb disguised as health food. Here's a number that will stop you in your tracks. 1 cup of pickled cucumbers contains 1,251 milligrams of sodium. That's 87% of your entire daily sodium allowance in just one serving. And most people don't stop at 1 cup. Think about your last deli sandwich. How many pickle slices were on that plate? Probably 4 or 5, right? You just consumed half a day's worth of sodium without even thinking about it. Now multiply that by every meal, every snack, every time you reach for what seems like a healthy, crunchy vegetable. But here's what makes this even more dangerous for seniors. After age 60, your kidneys can't filter sodium as efficiently as they used to. Your body holds on to that salt, trapping extra fluid in your bloodstream. More fluid means more pressure on your heart and arteries. It's like forcing water through a garden hose at full blast. The result? Your blood pressure spikes within 30 minutes of eating high-sodium foods. Your heart has to work harder to pump that extra volume. And if you already have high blood pressure or heart disease, this sudden surge can trigger dangerous complications. Let me give you the hidden sodium checklist that most people never think about. Sauerkraut contains 913 units per cup. Kimchi has 747 nits. Pickled beets pack 519 nits. Even olives, just 10 small ones, contain 420 mg of sodium. These aren't treats anymore. They're sodium bombs wrapped in healthy disguises. Here's what you need to know when reading labels. Look for products with less than 300 mg of sodium per serving. Anything higher is too risky for daily consumption. Many reduced sodium products still contain 400–500 mg per serving. That's still too much. Your safest alternatives? Fresh cucumbers with lemon juice and herbs give you that same tangy crunch without the sodium overload. You can make quick pickles at home using vinegar, water, and just a pinch of salt. They taste fresh and bright without putting your heart at risk. If you absolutely must have pickles, rinse them under cold water before eating. This removes about 30% of the surface sodium. It's not perfect, but it helps. But here's what I want you to do right after this video ends. Go to your pantry and start reading sodium labels. You'll be shocked at what you find. Canned vegetables, soups, even some bread contains hidden sodium that adds up fast. Are you starting to realize why your blood pressure medication might not be working as well as it should? When you're fighting a daily sodium battle, even the best medications struggle to keep up. Sodium is dangerous because at least you can measure it on a label. But the next vegetable creates reactions in your body that you can't see or feel until it's too late. 3. Hot peppers. The heart rate. Hijacker that triggers dangerous rhythms. The moment you bite into a hot pepper, something happens in your body that you can't control. The capsaicin hits your nervous system like a lightning bolt, triggering your fight-or-flight response. Your heart rate jumps 15 to 25% within minutes. Your blood pressure shoots up 10 to 15 points. Your body thinks it's under attack. For a younger person with flexible arteries, this might just mean a bit of sweating and excitement. But after age 60, your cardiovascular system can't handle these sudden shocks the way it used to. Your arteries have lost their elasticity. Your heart is more sensitive to rhythm changes. What feels like a fun burn in your mouth could trigger something much more serious in your chest. Recent studies from the American Heart Association show that seniors who regularly eat spicy foods have a 40% higher risk of experiencing heart palpitations and irregular rhythms. That's not a small increase. That's nearly double the risk. Here's what happens inside your body. Capsaicin activates something called your sympathetic nervous system. This floods your bloodstream with adrenaline and other stress hormones. Your blood vessels constrict. Your heart pounds faster. If you already have coronary artery disease or high blood pressure, this sudden surge can push your cardiovascular system past its breaking point. Let me give you a spice safety scale that could save your life. Bell peppers have 0 capsaicin. They're completely safe. Jalapenos measure 2,500 to 8,000 Scoville units. That's caution territory for seniors. Habaneros? They hit 100,000 to 350,000 units. That's avoid at all costs dangerous for anyone over 60 with heart issues. But you don't have to give up flavor completely. Paprika gives you that warm, smoky taste without the capsaicin punch. Mild chili powder adds depth without danger. Black pepper, rosemary, and thyme can make your food delicious without stressing your heart. Here's the insidious part about spicy food damage. It's not just the immediate reaction. Regular consumption of hot peppers causes chronic inflammation in your blood vessels. Over time, this inflammation weakens your arterial walls and increases your risk of heart attack and stroke. Think about this. Every time you reach for that hot sauce, every spicy meal you enjoy, you're asking your aging heart to handle stress it's not designed for anymore. Is that momentary flavor really worth the risk? If you've been experiencing unexplained heart palpitations or chest tightness after meals, spicy foods might be your hidden trigger. Pay attention to your body's signals. At least with spicy food, you can feel the heat and make a choice. But the next superfood on our list works silently in your bloodstream, like a pharmaceutical drug. And most people have no idea how powerful it really is. 4. Raw garlic, when nature's medicine becomes a bleeding risk. Garlic has been called nature's medicine for thousands of years, and for good reason. It can lower cholesterol, reduce blood pressure, and fight infections. But here's what nobody tells you about raw garlic. It's more powerful than many prescription drugs, and power without proper guidance can be dangerous. Raw garlic contains a compound called allicin. This substance has blood-thinning effects that are actually stronger than low-dose aspirin. Let that sink in for a moment. When you crush a clove of raw garlic and swallow it, you're essentially taking an unregulated blood thinner. Now imagine you're already taking prescribed anticoagulants like warfarin, Eliquis, or even daily aspirin. Adding raw garlic to that mix can increase your bleeding risk by up to 40%. Your blood becomes so thin that even minor injuries become dangerous. A simple nosebleed won't stop. A small cut keeps bleeding. Internal bleeding can happen without warning. Here's the garlic processing guide that could prevent a medical emergency. Raw garlic has the highest allicin content and the strongest blood-thinning effects. Cooking garlic for just 10 minutes reduces its potency by 50%. Aged garlic supplements, the kind you buy in stores, have the least interaction with medications because the allicin has been processed out. But how do you know if you're consuming too much? Watch for these warning signs: unusual bruising that appears without injury, nosebleeds that last longer than normal, black or tarry stools, which indicate internal bleeding, excessive bleeding from cuts that won't clot properly. If you're scheduled for any surgery, even minor dental work, you must stop eating raw garlic at least 2 weeks beforehand. Surgeons need your blood to clot normally, and garlic can interfere with that process even under anesthesia. Here's the safe way to enjoy garlic if you can't give it up completely. Limit yourself to 2 small cloves daily, maximum. Always cook it for at least 10 minutes to reduce the allicin content. Never take garlic supplements without consulting your doctor, especially if you're on heart medications. The frustrating thing about garlic interactions is that they happen gradually. You don't feel different. Your medication seems to be working fine. But your blood is slowly becoming thinner and thinner, setting you up for a bleeding crisis that could happen at any moment. Have you ever noticed that small cuts seem to bleed longer than they used to? Or that you bruise more easily than before? If you're eating raw garlic regularly, this might be why. Garlic at least has a strong smell that announces its presence. But our final vegetable on this list looks so innocent, so pure, so healthy, that its hidden dangers are almost impossible to detect. 5. Raw sprouts, the bacteria playground that your weakened immune system can't handle. They look so innocent, don't they? Those delicate alfalfa sprouts, those crisp mung bean sprouts, those trendy broccoli sprouts that health magazines rave about. Fresh, clean, bursting with enzymes and life. But here's what those magazines don't tell you. Raw sprouts have a bacterial contamination rate of 15 to 20%. Compare that to less than 1% for most cooked vegetables. Think about those numbers for a moment. Every fifth handful of sprouts you eat could be contaminated with dangerous bacteria like E. coli, Salmonella, or Listeria. For a younger person with a strong immune system, that might mean a few days of stomach upset. For someone over 60, it could mean hospitalization, sepsis, or even death. Here's why sprouts are so dangerous. They grow in warm, moist environments, the exact same conditions that bacteria love. The seeds are soaked in water, kept at body temperature, and allowed to germinate in humid containers. It's like creating a 5-star resort for every harmful microorganism you can imagine. Your immune system at 60, 70, or 80 is not the same warrior it was at 30. Research shows that T-cell function, your body's main defense against infections, declines by 2 to 3% every year after age 60. By the time you're 70, your immune system is operating at only 50% of its youthful capacity. What does this mean for you? A bacterial infection that a younger person's body could fight off easily becomes a life-threatening crisis. Food poisoning doesn't just mean a few uncomfortable days. It can lead to dehydration severe enough to damage your kidneys. It can cause infections in your bloodstream that travel to your heart, causing endocarditis. It can trigger sepsis, where your body's infection response becomes so extreme that it starts damaging your own organs. The CDC has documented dozens of outbreaks linked specifically to raw sprouts. In 2020 alone, contaminated sprouts sickened over 100 people across multiple states. The victims weren't careless eaters or people with poor hygiene. They were health-conscious individuals who thought they were making the right choice. Here's what you need to understand about the 165-degree rule. That's the minimum temperature needed to kill harmful bacteria. Raw sprouts, by definition, never reach that temperature. You're essentially playing Russian roulette every time you eat them. Your safer alternatives? Microgreens, which are grown differently in controlled environments with better safety protocols. Cooked bean sprouts, which give you similar nutrition without the bacterial risk. Steamed broccoli sprouts, where the heat kills dangerous organisms while preserving most nutrients. If you absolutely must eat sprouts, buy them from reputable sources, rinse them thoroughly under running water, and consume them immediately. Never eat sprouts that look slimy, smell off, or have been sitting in your refrigerator for more than 2 days. But honestly, why take the risk? There are so many other ways to get fresh, crunchy vegetables without gambling with your health. Now that we've identified these 5 hidden dangers lurking in your kitchen, you're probably wondering what you can safely eat to actually protect and nourish your heart. After everything we've just discussed, you might be thinking, What am I supposed to eat? The answer isn't complicated, but it is specific. Your heart at 60+ needs different nutrition than it did at 40, and science has given us a clear roadmap. According to recent research from the American Heart Association, seniors who eat steamed cruciferous vegetables reduce their heart disease risk by 22%. Cooked tomatoes increase lycopene absorption by 35% compared to raw. Sweet potatoes provide essential potassium without interfering with heart medications. These aren't just healthy choices. They're specifically heart protective for your age group. Here's your senior nutrition formula. Fill half your plate with cooked vegetables in a variety of colors. 1/4 should be lean protein like fish, chicken, or beans. The final quarter should be whole grains like brown rice or quinoa. This isn't a trendy diet. It's evidence-based nutrition designed for aging hearts. Your safest vegetable choices? Steamed broccoli gives you cancer-fighting compounds without the blood-thinning risks of raw cruciferous vegetables. Roasted carrots provide beta-carotene and natural sweetness. Sautéed kale offers iron and calcium when cooked with a little olive oil. Baked sweet potatoes deliver potassium for healthy blood pressure. Preparation method matters more than you might think. Steaming preserves nutrients better than boiling, which leaches vitamins into the water you throw away. Roasting with minimal olive oil concentrates flavors without adding dangerous fats. Sautéing with herbs instead of salt gives you taste without sodium overload. Here's a simple meal template you can use every day. Start with a palm-sized portion of salmon or chicken breast. Add a cup of steamed vegetables like broccoli or green beans. Include half a cup of brown rice or sweet potato. Season with lemon, herbs, or a small amount of olive oil. The beauty of this approach is consistency. Your body thrives on routine, especially as you age. When you eat similar foods in similar portions at similar times, your medications work more predictably. Your blood sugar stays stable. Your heart doesn't have to work overtime processing extreme changes. Remember, you're not trying to win a nutrition contest. You're trying to nourish a heart that's been beating for 60, 70, or 80 years. It deserves food that supports its work, not food that makes its job harder. Your next meal is your next opportunity to show your heart some love.